Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the need for an alternative power supply in South Africa continues to grow as the country experiences darkness daily. This year alone, rolling blackouts or cuts have occurred almost every day, actually every day since December. Yesterday, the budget speech by Finance Minister Eddy Mokobodi saw the announcement of tax incentives, encouraging more South Africans to embrace new renewable energy. But what should people look out for in terms of safety of solar and other green energy installations? Well, let's speak now to the Director of Sakisa Energy and Technology, Eddy Mokobodi. Thank you very much. He's joining us from Polokwane. Eddy, thank you for your time. I think for me, looking at the fact that, we have to make peace with the fact that Eskom will have load shedding for many months to come. And that means that a lot of us are looking for alternative ways to keep our lights on. But that also means desperation and people playing on people's desperations as well. So what exactly should people be looking out for? What questions should we ask when we call someone like a company like yours to come to our homes and install solar?
Okay, so the most important thing as more and more people enter this space is that you're going to see a case of what they call the Bucky Brigade, which is guys just coming into the sector, trying to take a chance or trying to cash in on the opportunity. So first thing to look out for is the track record. Has the company installed solar systems before and for how long? And what sort of houses or businesses have they installed systems on? Because it's no use somebody experimenting on your property. The second thing is to ask if they will give you an electrical COC, as well as are they part of any associations or voluntary bodies related to the solar industry.
Sure. All right. So, just explain something to me. If I get an inverter, for instance, is it necessary to also get solar panels as well? Is it better to get both these technologies?
Look, as things stand with your stage 6 load shedding, we see more and more of our clients who had inverters and batteries only now also adding solar panels. Because they want to be a lot more secure as they can't trust that things will get better. So if you can afford it, take everything. That's probably the stage at which we are right now. And if you can't, then get started with the inverter and battery. Make sure that it is solar ready so that you can add solar panels at a later stage.
All right. So just explain something to me. For instance, there's a story about a woman and her husband who got people to come and install alternative energy in their home, both solar panels as well as an inverter, right? After a couple of days or so of being able to have lights while the rest of us don't, the house burnt down. And now insurance said, well, we can't pay because you didn't make sure that the people who actually inserted all of this in your home were doing it properly, etc. What would you advise in terms of that? Does it happen that a house may burn down because of solar energy or an inverter?
Yes, it does happen. If the job is not done correctly, then you are at risk for anything that might happen. Remember, solar panels, batteries, and inverters are things that work with electricity. And electricity creates sparks, which can cause fires. So the best way to safeguard yourself again is to check the track record of the company. Check that you are dealing with a competent person. Ask for details of their previous work. Find out if they're going to give you a COC. Check also for the quality of material that is going to be installed. A lot of consumers think that these items are cheap or that they can save a bit of money by going for the cheapest supplier. That's always not necessarily a good idea because sometimes the cheapest product or the cheapest supplier might be taking shortcuts. And there's a reason why he's so cheap.
So, Eddy, just tell me something. Do inverters still work when you are facing your stage 6, for instance, of power cuts? I mean, I hear from people saying their inverters don't even get enough time to recharge to be able to give them power, because inverters at the moment, people say, give them about 2 to 2.5 hours of power. And that obviously would be a stage 4 down. So what's the point then of getting an inverter if it's just going to give you power for a little bit, and then once you move to stage 6 and further, as we've been told, stage 8 is also possible, what's the point then of getting these technologies?
That's why you probably need technologies which are scalable. So at Sakisa Energy, what we like to do is we'll sell the inverter and battery, which you can add more batteries. So some of our clients also have started adding batteries to their systems. If you buy a plug and play unit, then maybe that's where the challenge comes in. So it just depends as well. The inverter and battery option is for your essential loads. So your plugs and lights, your fridge, TV,
Okay.
just to keep your household going. And then as you add more batteries, you become a lot less dependent on the situation at hand.
And I
So
guess.
it is possible to survive the longer stages, provided you have big enough batteries as well.
And a big enough pocket, or a deep enough pocket as well, I guess. Thank you very
Yes,
much for speaking to us,
yes.
Eddy. Expect a call from myself. I'll probably call you just to help me in the installation process in my home. Director at the Sakisa Energy and Technology, Eddy Mokobodi, speaking to us there. It's quite sad to think about it, actually, because there are those who are fortunate enough to be able to make a plan. But what about the poor?